Common question being a comedian for this long. People are like, were you a weird child? Were you like a funny, weird child? I'm like, yeah. No, when I was 8, I was a divorce attorney. Super weird, I was very serious. No. So here's a true story again of little Nick Swardson, 11 years old. 11. So my older sister, Rachel, she was 16 at the time, and she had a sweet 16 party. Oh my God. Ladies, right? 16, you're like, what? Here's what I figured out, side story. The loudest sound in the world is when a drunk chick is at a bar and runs into her friend that she didn't plan on seeing that night. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about. It is jarring. You'll be hammered at the bar like, yeah, I know, it's like, I don't want to go to work on Monday. It's like, my fucking job sucks. It's like, so stupid. Oh my God. Is that Stacy? I think that's Stacy. Stacy! 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 Everyone's like, oh my God. Are we in Jurassic World? You just saw her a week ago. So anyway, back to my stupid sister. She has her sweet 16 party. So again, I'm 11 years old. I'm like, what do I do in this scenario? There's gonna be a bunch of drunk teenagers in my home. Here was my game plan. Took my squirt gun, pissed in it. Ah, were you a weird child? Yeah. So I went around and sprayed drunk people in the face. Yep. And they had no idea. They thought it was water. They were like, Nicholas. So here's the mistake I made. Everything was going great. And I made the mistake of telling somebody what I had done. My sister's friend, Kristen, she goes, oh my God, Nicholas, that's so funny. You're spraying people with water. And I was so cocky. I'm like, it's not water. She goes, what is it? And I go, it's pee. Right at that moment, Greg, the quarterback from the football team, rolls up. I'm like John Wick at this point. I'm just like, both eyes, nose, mouth, 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 ears, 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 nose. Just annihilated him. And he goes, Nicholas. And Kristen goes, oh my God. Greg, that's not water. That's piss. You have piss all over your face. I was like, no! Again, I'm 11 years old. He tackles me, pins me down, unloads all the piss gun in my mouth. My own piss in my mouth. Yeah, it was horrible. But it's funny how you remember stuff from your childhood and it makes sense as you get older. Like, I remember that and I was like, oh. That's why that's the only way I can orgasm now. First part of that story is true. Second part is not. So I'm sure you guys are like, Swardson, that had to be the last time you had your own piss in your face. Nope. Here comes story number 2. Again, a true story. And this is one of my favorites because it involves one of my best friends, one of my favorite people, David Spade. We know who David is, right? Sweet David! So he calls me up one time and he goes, hey, buddy, what are you doing? I go, nothing. What are you doing? And he goes, nothing. I'm going to a concert tonight. You want to go? I'm like, yeah, who is it? He goes, Def Leppard and Bryan Adams. I'm like, that's the most David Spade concert I've ever heard of in my life. But I go, yeah, how are we getting there? And he goes, I rented a helicopter to beat traffic. I'm like, okay, that's weird. So we go to the airport. It's me and David's date. Beautiful supermodel. Beautiful. Very tall for David. No, it was awkward. She was like 4'3". He's gonna hate me for saying that. So we get in the helicopter. We're 10 minutes into the flight, and I have to urinate really bad. I'm like, ah. And David goes, what's your problem? And I go, I gotta pee. And he goes, why don't you pee at the airport? And I'm like, this is how dumb I am. This is real. I go, I thought there'd be a bathroom on the helicopter. And I think I said it exactly like Napoleon Dynamite. I thought there'd be a bathroom on the helicopter. So he goes, there are no bathrooms on helicopters. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not part of a Channel 5 fucking news team doing traffic every day. I've never been on a helicopter. Sorry, Magnum PI. So he goes, well, I don't know what to tell you. Piss out the window. So he was not serious. This guy, I don't know, thought he was serious. There was like a sliding window to get air. I fucking saddle up. And I go, TT, here's how dumb I am again. And I'm not lying to you. I thought pee would just go like that. Like a drinking fountain stream, it would just go pee. Travel tip, everybody, it doesn't do that. Yeah, here's what it did. All over my face and mouth. All over David and David's date. And David goes, what the fuck? And I go, you said piss out the window. He's like, I was joking. You can't piss out of a helicopter. I'm like, well, you wanted to see Def Leppard, Joe Dirt. And that's the only way David can orgasm now. Silly, just silliness. But yeah, I hate flying. I have to fly a lot. I hate flying. My friend the other day is like, hey, have you ever been to Bali? I'm like, no. He goes, you should go. It's beautiful. I'm like, okay, what's that flight? He's like, it's like 21 hours. No, the answer will always be no if I've ever been to Bali. 21 hours on a fucking plane? If I go to Bali, then I'm moving to Bali. Not getting back on another flight. There's not enough alcohol on that flight to get through that nonsense. So whenever you fly, you know this, right? You want to fly direct. Like, get me there for the love of fucking God. I love when these online places have other options where I'm like, oh, Seattle to Denver? That's easy. And the website's like, okay. You want to save $50? Yeah, maybe one stop? No, I want to get there. Okay, I see what you're saying. Just saying, a couple more bucks. 2 stops. I'm like, no. And then there was one site where I was like, no, direct. And they were like, okay. But what if 3 stops? 3 stops was an option. I'm like, who is that for? Who's in no hurry to get anywhere at all? It's like a simple flight. And they're like, Seattle to Denver? Okay. What about Seattle to Boston, Miami to Bali, then Denver? The flight takes 3 weeks, you grow a beard. No. Stupid. And here's a travel tip, and this is serious. I have so much life advice. Don't fart on an airplane. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Unless it's Spirit Airlines, then shit your pants. Who cares? They're a fucking nightmare. There's no spirit on that flight. It's just dead souls. Miserable. So if you have to fart on a flight, okay, I've solved it. Here's what you do. You let it build. You know when you feel it, and you're like, oh. Let it build, clench, and push it forward. Yeah, clench, push it forward until you're with child. Yeah, you have a beautiful fart, baby. Ready for the world. You feel it kick, you're like, oh, it's a boy. Then you go into the bathroom, take your pants down, sit on the toilet, press flush. You know how violent those airplane toilet suctions are? So violent. You just sit there and flush, it's like, it sucks every fart out of your asshole. Yeah, for the next 5 years. You have to fart for 5 years. That's how powerful that suction is. Yeah. And then you come. Yeah, and then you come. So I thought those flights were stupid. Then there's a flight to Mars. I don't know if you've heard about this. It's a real flight to Mars. The planet. Mars. They want to get over and colonize Mars because they found water that's frozen. Okay, yeah, we better get over there and figure skate. I don't know what the fuck's going on there. They found frozen water. They didn't find like a Buffalo Wild Wings or something. Where I'd be like, I might do that. Yeah, the game's on. The flight to Mars takes 4 months. 4 months. I'm pretty sure it's one way, by the way. That's dicey right there. You're done figure skating, you're like, okay, I want to go home. Nope. If I had to do a flight to Mars for 4 months, I would need a bar of Xanax the size of a canoe. There'd be the whole seat next to me would be a bar of Xanax, and here's what I'm doing. I'd open the window, piss out of it, everyone's fucking dead. You know what I mean? Yeah, no thank you, Mars. If anybody here is listening from Mars, nope. Not happening. Cut to my next special live from Mars. And I'm just figure skating.